Bada bing, bada boom. You know what it is. Geeks are back on the scene. We got picks and predictions. UFC Fight Night. Song Yadong versus Ricky Simone. Let's get after it. We're going through the main card, starting at the bottom. First fight of the card, main card. Waldo Cortez Acosta. This is a heavyweight scrap. He's 9-0. Coming out against Marcos Rogerio de Lima. 28-1. I'm going to be taking Rogerio de Lima in this one. I love the experience factor in this. I've seen Waldo Cortez Acosta multiple times now. I mean, he's the guy. He's got the whole baseball story. He comes out. He used to be a pro baseball player. He's from the Dominican or something like that. And yeah, I mean, he throws punches like he throws baseballs, like straight over his head. It's the craziest thing, honestly. Like, it sounds weird to hear, but like if you watch him punch, you're like, shit, like he's throwing baseballs. And I don't think that's going to cut it against a guy like Rogerio, who's going to be able to really chop his legs and really show him what it's like to fight an experienced fight in the UFC at this level. So I'm all over Rogerio. He looked really good in his last couple bouts. The guy's electric on the feet, and he's definitely got the jiu-jitsu to do it, you know? So I think Rogerio gets a finish in this one. What do you got, Dano?
I'm with you. I like Rogerio in this one too. I don't know how he'll get it done. But I feel like he's just got too many tools for Cortez, especially this early on. Like you're saying, Cortez is not a full-bred MMA guy. He's kind of played this sport, switching over. So I feel like the tools aren't all the way there for him yet, especially going up against someone who does have a lot of tools, does have good takedowns, does have good ground game, and he's got a lot of pop up top. So I'm going to ride with Rogerio, and I'm going to pick decision.
Fair enough. Goosey, what you got?
Going Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think fight's pretty close. I'm expecting he's young in his fighting career. I'm expecting him to make a jump. He's had some time off. He rattled a few fights off quick. I think this break is going to be good for him to learn and put some new things into action. And he's not far off. I mean, Rogerio de Lima doesn't really bring a lot of kicks. He throws heavy hands, but I think if it goes back and forth, Waldo Cortez Acosta, the chin is good. Maybe not good enough because de Lima does have some pop. But if it stands up, he's going to be hitting him with more shots than he gets hit with. The grappling defense is decent. I'm not going to say it's great, but Rogerio de Lima doesn't have the best gas tank. And we've seen Waldo Cortez Acosta at heavyweight. I'm going to pull up the stats here just to be exact. Hit 147 significant strikes his last time out against Chase Sherman. That's a pretty incredible pace for heavyweights. I think he puts it on Rogerio de Lima in this one. Underdog, I'm picking Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Oh yeah. All right. We're moving into the next one. We have got a geek of the week coming out here. I think it's Dano's Geek of the Week. Julian Erosa, Juicy J, 28-10-0, coming out against UFC debuter Fernando Padilla, 14-4. Now, I was doing a little bit of research on this man, and this kid's been fighting since he was 17 years old. His first fight was back in 2015. He's only 26 right now. The guy fought Dan Ige when he was 6-0. He fought Dan Ige, who was 5-1. Lost to him. The kid's got experience. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, he's one of these like Raul Rosas kids. He's a Mexican. He grew up. He's at like Raul at 26, now entering the UFC. He's been fighting good guys. His only loss in his last 5 is to Spike Carlisle. So Julian Rosas got his hands full in this matchup. This guy Fernando Padilla is a 6'1" featherweight. That is a big, big featherweight. And we just kind of saw it with William Gomez last week. And Francis, like that whole size advantage thing is real. So, Fernando Padilla, this is a live dog, especially if he is underdog. I haven't seen the lines here, but I feel like a lot of money's going to be on Juicy J. I love him to death, but, this guy Fernando Padilla is going to be a spark. He's definitely going to have some pop coming in here. So got 4 finishes in his last few. I mean, Julian Erosa, we all know Julian Erosa. He's really good, but he has those moments. He has those squeaky wheels, and sometimes it doesn't always pan out. So they're kind of throwing him, this rookie. I don't know what they're thinking here, but we'll see if he can hold his spot. Dano, what do you got? I know you're fighting me on this one.
I'm all over Julian Rosa in this one, and as juxtaposing as it is, Julian Rosa is a very good journeyman, a very good unranked guy who's just kind of floats in the division. He's fought a lot of top names. He's put on some good performances, but he's also had some bad performances. But I feel like he's a tried and true vet of the game, to where going up against someone who is debuting, that will always be a tough spot for the debuter. We saw what happened to Rosa in his last fight. He looked pretty good against Caceres, but then just got clipped by the old head kick. So I feel like he's going to come back with some redemption and put it on Padilla. So I'm all over Rosa.
Julian Rosa with the Darce choke over Charles Jourdain looks so good right now. And the flying knee on Nate Landwehr. Yeah, Juicy
Yeah,
J
bro.
got some sleepers in there. Goosey, what do you got?
I gotta go with Juicy J. I'm gonna go with what I know. And Juicy J, tried and true. Obviously not the best performances last time out, but Alex Caceres is that guy that's gonna hit you with some weird shots from some weird angles, hit that head kick over the top after setting it up pretty well. And Fernando Padilla, he is winning fights. He's young, but you look at his record, there's some split decisions. There's some other things that kind of make you raise your eyebrows. Those splits. Could we have gas tank issues? I mean, he's fighting guys close, but either way, I think you got an experienced vet, wins over Hakeem Dawodu, Charles Jourdain, Nate Landwehr, Sean Woodson, like guys putting together a good resume. I'm gonna take Juicy J. He bounces back from L's pretty well historically in his career. And I'm gonna pick a Rosa.
Let's go. All right, moving into the next one. This one's a pretty dope scrap here at middleweight. Cody Brundage 8-3 coming out against Rodolfo Vieira 8-2. Rodolfo Vieira, the notorious like crazy level black belt that got choked out by Fluffy Hernandez at like minus 1,200 odds or some crazy thing. Yeah, he bounced back after that. He definitely figured out his weight cut or whatever that problem was. Like that was crazy how fast he was draining that fight. There's clearly something wrong because he came back out, stood up and banged it out for like 2 or 3 rounds with I don't even remember who it was, but I remember his it's just a great performance. Cody Brundage, he loves to throw these like hard shots into takedowns. He likes to get his jiu-jitsu going. Dude, this is not a good match for him to get his jiu-jitsu going. He's going to need his stand-up in this. And from what I've seen from Rodolfo recently, I think Rodolfo's going to have enough stand-up. Because if this fight goes to the mat, Cody Brundage thinks he can grapple until he grapples with Rodolfo Vieira. There's clear levels in the jiu-jitsu game that I don't know about. I don't grapple, but I do know that Cody Brundage and Rodolfo Vieira are definitely going to be on different playing fields if it hits the mats. So I'm going to take Rodolfo to just win this on the feet. If it gets bad, he's got ways to win on the ground. I think he's, like I said, clearly better. Dana, what do you got?
I'm all over Rodolfo in this one. I love his last fight because we've seen improvements fight to fight. Like you were saying with the Fluffy fight, he gassed out pretty bad. Against Chris Curtis, he showed a good gas tank and he showed that he's an absolute juggernaut on the feet. Curtis was hitting him with a lot of body shots and a lot of power shots, and Vieira was kind of just walking through him. We know how good Chris Curtis is, so it's pretty impressive. I just feel like Cody Brundage is not as good a striker as Chris Curtis, and he is a good wrestler, but you got to do a little bit more than just get Rodolfo to the mat to beat him. So, like you were saying, bad matchup for Brundage. I really like Vieira in this one.
Juicy, what do you got?
I'm gonna pick Vieira. I think he will have the edge on the ground and on the feet. I can't trust him ever since that Fluffy Hernandez L. That gas tank was so bad. I do think something had to go wrong with the weight cut, but a guy like Brundage, he's gonna have to motor him, get him tired, and there's definitely a path there. But straight up, I mean, Rodolfo Vieira probably gets it done. I could see a decision. He's going to be shooting takedowns on him. Their submission.
Let's go. All right, we're moving into the next one. We have got the co-main right here. Cal Baralho, 13-1, coming out against Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Love Mikhail Oleksiejczyk's stand-up boxing, straight up. Just want to throw it out there. I love the way this guy boxes. I love the way this guy stands up. He walks forward. He wants violence. Man, this guy's fun to watch. But the thing is he's fighting a guy that doesn't really want violence as much as him at all. Cal Baraujo, big position over submission guy. And I think that's going to be kind of the tail of the tape in this one. You know, Cal Baraujo is a slick jiu-jitsu guy, and he is really good at taking people's backs. And Mikhail Oleksiejczyk, you know, really struggles against these guys that like to wrestle him and put that pressure on him against the fence and whatnot. He likes to be able to have his space where he can kind of throw his shots. Baraujo's just that guy. I really am a big hype supporter on this guy. His grappling is so good, and his stand-up is so elusive too. I mean, this guy's fucking good. So I'm taking Baraujo. He's gonna be able to mix it up. I think he's just gonna control him. So even though I hate to fade my boy, but I gotta do it. Taking Cal Baraujo. Goosey, what do you got?
Kyle Braujo, we haven't really seen him look too bad. His only loss is early in his career. He was 1-0 fighting a guy 4-0. Since then, I mean, he's really ran through the UFC competition that he's fought. Mikhail Oleksiejczuk might be a little bit of a step up for him. But I mean, I think grappling, this is a complete mismatch. Oleksiejczuk, he's been submitted a few times. He's good on the feet, not good on the ground. And I think that Kyle Baraujo, even though he doesn't get submissions like that, I could see him doing the position over submission, like you said, but clear path to victory for him. And to be honest, even on the feet, he can hold his own. He's got some good skills. Mikhail Oleksiejczuk probably clips him if it stays there too long, but I think he gets this fight to the ground.
Dano.
I'm riding with Cow too. I think this could be a easy decision pick just because I feel like Jacek will be too violent for him, like you were saying, CO. He'll bring a big pace, fast pace, and Brajo will try and slow that down with, as you guys are saying, position over submission. I feel like it could start out pretty nice, pretty fun, pretty entertaining, but then once the fatigue sets in, or maybe even a little bit of damage sets in, Brajo will kind of really try and slow it down and make it boring and just win rounds. So that's my pick.
Let's go. All right, we're moving into the main event. We've got the bantamweight bangers. Song Yadong, 19-7-1, coming out against Ricky Simone, 20-3. Ricky Simone brings that Marab type game plan, that whole style where he is super pressure. He'll hold you against the fence. He'll reshoot. Lots of pressure. But the thing is, he's been sparked by this guy, Uriah Faber. You might know this guy. And he runs a gym called Team Alpha Male, which you might know. And Song Yadong has been fighting literally in the UFC since he was like 20 years old. And he's been fighting at Team Alpha Male, training at Team Alpha Male full time for the last however many years. So I do think Song Yadong is going to have the perfect game plan in this kind of matchup, and I do think he's got way more pop, way more coordination than Uriah Faber did at like 40 years old when he knocked out Ricky Simone. Yeah, it wasn't even like a prime Uriah; it was the comeback Uriah. So I'm thinking Song Yadong is going to find the button on Ricky at some point in this fight. It's 5 rounds, so wouldn't be surprised if Song finds himself on his back or you know, fighting to call off takedowns early, but eventually they're going to get stood up because Song Yadong's got a hell of a gas tank and he's strong as shit. So eventually it'll stop. And I think he's going to spark him. And it might even happen early with like a knee or something because Ricky Simone can be predictable. So that's how I'm going to leave it. I am going to say that I was on Ricky Simone for a long time and I just jumped ship recently. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm taking Song though. I've completely flipped. Dano, what do you got?
I flipped too, man. I was on Ricky Simone and I was pretty confident in my Ricky Simone pick, but this was back in the 3-round fight and a 1 weight cut fight. But now that we're moved back a week, we got a recut. This was also kind of like the Haley Cowan situation, right? The first fight of the night where we get a fight that's moved kind of close to when they were supposed to fight. So they were already cutting weight, then they had to stop. And now they're recutting weight, for this main event 5-rounders. I think that's going to take a toll on a wrestler. on a bigger body in Ricky Simone. I do love the team alpha male aspect of Song. I think that all those guys, the Uriah Fabers, the Dillashaws, the Dom Cruzes, the Cejudos, all those not OG guys, but like big time vets of those smaller weight classes. I feel like those guys are really, really smart and they have really good game plans to what they're gonna do. So I think Uriah, especially being a guy who fought Ricky Simone and who knocked out Ricky Simone, he's gonna be able to give Song a lot of, little tips and tricks that'll help him out in this one. And also Team Alpha Male has a lot of wrestlers, even some big size wise wrestlers. So I think that, Song's got to be training with those guys day in and day out. I think he will be ready. I think 5 rounds is huge for Song. And one thing about Ricky was his last fight against Jack Shore, he showed off some good striking skills and he looked good on the feet, but that's kind of what I was thinking. But Song is a lot faster and a lot different than Jack Shore. So if you think you're going to be good at striking and you can knock down Jack Shore and then choke him out, Song's a different animal on the feet. So that made me a little nervous, but overall I am switching as well. Song Yadong.
Let's go. What do you got, Goosey?
Picking Song Yadong. I think you look at this fight breakdown, Ricky Simon's going to have to kind of chain grapple for 25 minutes to be safe and get a victory in this one. I don't think that the striking is that comparable. All right, Song Yadong is going to have better hands. He's going to have faster hands. He's going to have more powerful hands. That being said, Ricky Simone is going to have better grappling in almost all areas. The thing is, you're putting him on an extended weight cut here. Ricky's the bigger guy, going to be tough on the body. 5 rounds. He was preparing for 3 rounds. I think these little pieces here are adding up to where I can pretty comfortably say we're not going to be getting the best version of Ricky Simone in there. Maybe I'm taking a step too far, but I think that we see him a little bit diminished. Song Yadong, on the other hand, if there's anyone that can handle the circumstances, it's a young stallion on the rise, hungry on the come up. And there's nothing more tiring in MMA than offensive grappling. All right, Song Yadong, you want to win? Maybe I would say not let yourself get taken down, but play into the game plan a little bit early. Let him gas himself out, be hard to take down, make him use that muscle up a little bit. Standing in front of you rounds 2, rounds 3, rounds probably ends in round 3, I would say. I think Song Yadong round 3 knockout is what I'm going to go with.
All right. Yeah, I like that too. I like that a lot. That's it. Those are the picks and predictions. Main card scoop, UFC Fight Night, Song Yadong versus Ricky Simone. We're out. Let's go. Hit us on the comments, likes, subscriptions, and Instagram. Don't forget the TikTok and Twitter. Peace out.